Shalom. Shalom to the family. Just gonna wait till everybody come up in here. See what happens. Should be coming up. How are y'all doing today, fam? How y'all doing today? I'm having a wonderful day, even though I just woke up like 2 hours ago. Well, not 2 hours ago, about 3 hours ago. Praise y'all for waking me for another day. Hope you guys' day went splendid as well. It didn't snow as much. They said it was going to be 5 to 8 inches. That's what they said this morning. I woke up, it looked like maybe about 2 to 3. Not even 3 inches. Maybe, probably around 2. Maybe 1. Praise y'all. I thought it was going to be better than they said it was going to be. But it was mild. Most High is great. He's great. Love it. I love it. Big salute to Brother K. Judah in the house. Sister Nick Yah and Sister Oracle. Yes, sir. Shalom. Thank you guys for joining me in yet another edition. Wait a little bit more to see if anybody else comes in. Then we can go ahead and get started. We got a good show today, I would say. There's been some crazy stuff going on in the news that has come to my attention that I want to inform the family about tonight. And also, we're going to get into some more fake history. I love this shit. I love putting down white Jesus. I do. I really do. I ain't gonna lie. It's great to me. And we're gonna do that again. We're gonna put a final nail in the coffin. We're gonna read a great article called The Revealing of Jesus Christ by the same dude who I read. I did another article of his a couple weeks ago. Forgot the name of that one though. I think it was more about the true color of the Jews. It's about the same guy, and he goes in this article. And I want y'all to read it. I want y'all to hear it. Shalom, Sister Eve. Shalom, Sister Namaria. Thank you for joining the stream. All praises to y'all, sisters and brothers. Yes, sir. Love y'all with the pure. Thank you for stopping in. I know it'd be late, but I appreciate it anyways. Hey, shalom to Monster Moshe joining the building. Salute my brother. How you doing out there in Vegas? Sin City. Yes, sir. All right. I think we can go ahead and get started here. So y'all know, without further ado, let me drop that intro, huh? Wake up, Jacob. Wake up, Jacob. Wake up, Jacob. Hey, wake up, nigga. We behind the veil with Bezale'el. Yeah, we behind the veil with Bezale'el. Reporting news from my father, this the warning bell. To repent and come back to him, for he said that's the hell. We behind the veil with Bezale'el. Yeah, we behind the veil with Bezale'el. Reporting news from my father, this the warning bell. To repent and come back to him, for he said that's the hell. Yeah. Just look at the destruction. This wouldn't have to happen if we followed his instruction. Hard head and stiff neck, that's how you scrap your people. Blending with the nation, starting to become like the sheep. Both the end times are here, we no longer need to hide. Cause the Elohim of Yasharel about to save his bride. Pestilence, plagues, and every manner of creation. He about to send these heathen on a permanent vacation. Wake up, Jacob. Wake up, Jacob. Wake up, Jacob. Hey, wake up, nigga. We behind the veil with Bezale'el. Yeah, we behind the veil with Bezale'el. Reporting news from my father, this the warning mail. To repent and come back to him for he sent that ass to hell. We behind the veil with Bezale'el. Yeah, we behind the veil with Bezale'el. Reporting news from my father, this the warning mail. To repent and come back to him for he sent that ass to hell. Yes, welcome, family, to yet another edition of Behind the Veil. I am your host, Bezale'el Ben Yahudah. This is episode 17. Dang, 17. 17, man. We on 17. Hey, man, this has been great for me, man. All praises to Yah and Yahushua HaMashiach for the platform to be able to inform my family of all the crazy shit that doesn't make it to your television screens, for putting the words in my mouth to tell you guys the real truth behind the veil. Today on the Gregorian calendar, it is Wednesday, February 23rd, 2000, quote unquote, 22. One day after that stupid ass Tuesday bullshit, 22222, where we saw a lot of shit. We saw Putin going ahead and invading Ukraine. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kickstarting what is going to be a very long and tumultuous time for the other nations who are not Israel. This is white on white crime, baby. We stay out of it, Negroes. We do not get in between these heathen. Let them duke it out. Let Yah will be done. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's been crazy. People don't know what's going on. White people are running around with their heads cut off. They have no idea what is going on, what this means for their kingdom. This is just the beginning. Europeans, your reign of terror is coming to an end. Oh, yes. Around the world, we are seeing protests of massive scales going against their own governments. White on white crime everywhere, globally. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Even the heathen don't like it no more. They know something's going on. But of course, you know, the elite like to dismiss Yah, calling it climate change, things that are out of their hands, Mother Nature going wild. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is the Most High doing his pleasure in the earth. That's right. His pleasure. This is his creation. This is his movie. He is a director, producer, writer. And we are nothing but mere actors in the play. That's right, guys. I just stomped all over your free will. Sorry. That does not exist in the state that you guys think it is. But that would be a whole nother Listen, I ain't gonna get more into that. Want to give a healthy shalom out to the family in the chat. Do another roll call. Shalom to brother K. Judah. Love you at the pure heart, brother. Sister Na Maria. Love you, sis. Sister Oracle 007. Love you. Sister Eve. Love you. Brother Monster Moshe. Love you, brother. And to all the Israelites scattered to the four corners of the earth, big salute to y'all, brethren and sisters. Keep your head up high. Most High doing his will in the earth for us. This is all for us. He's clearing the chessboard, baby. Clearing the chessboard. So without further ado here, let's get into some crazy news that's been going on here. Crazy things that's been happening. I don't know if you guys have heard about this one, but there was a ship. And this is how the Most High has humor, sense of humor. There was a ship that was out there in, where was this located? It's in the mid-Atlantic, apparently. This was last week. And it was a ship that caught fire. Now, this ship, hilarious, was carrying $401 million worth of cars, including Porsche, Audi, Bentley, and Lamborghini models. It says here, Felicity Ace, that's the name of the ship, a specialist cargo ship carrying more than 4,000 cars, caught fire near the Azores on Wednesday evening. That's what the Most High think of your luxury items. Ain't nothing to him. All you people want to show off with your fancy six-figure cars, $1 million cars. Look at what the Most High thinks of your $1 million car. Hilarious to me. The vessel's 22 crew members were evacuated, but the fire continued to burn for several days, fueled by the lithium-ion batteries in the electric vehicles on board. Hilarious. Insurance experts at Russell Group said on Monday they estimated that $438 million of goods were on the ship, including an estimated $401 million of cars and goods vehicles. Suki Bassi, the group's managing director, said the incident will result in losses of at least $155 million for Volkswagen, which owns Porsche, Audi, Bentley, and Lamborghini, hitting them right in the pockets. Hitting them right in the pockets. That's how you subdue the European, the white people. You hit them in the pocket. Most High is, boy, he is strategic, isn't he? Says the ship's operator, MOL Ship Management, that is based out of Singapore, said on Monday that the vessel was still assumed to remain on fire south of the Azores, drifting further away from the islands. This means that this cargo ship is just out there, just floating. Floating. It said 2 firefighting tugboats were due to arrive at the site of the ship on Monday and would start spraying water to Felicity Ace together with the patrol boat, with the initial salvage team on board already on site to cool down the heat from the vessel. The company said the ship remained stable and was not leaking oil. Another salvage craft with firefighting equipment is due to arrive from Rotterdam on the 26th of February. That will be Friday. Isn't this awesome? Boy, y'all has a sense of humor. Lit them cars on fire. These are the cars that our people lust after too, ain't it? These type of cars, Audis, Bentleys, Porsche, Lambos. This is what our people love. We love this vanity, this show of vanity. Well, the Most High just showed you what he thinks of your vanity, human. Set that shit ablaze. Hit them in the pocket for $155 million. That's a lot. That is a lot of money to a company, boy. All praises to Yah. May he continue to wreak havoc upon the wallets of these Neanderthals. Oh, moving on. Haha. Yes, sir. We move our attention to France. Now, this is hilarious. All these people who took the jab got their little passports and everything so they can do whatever they want to do, right? Guess what happened? 4 million, between 4 and 4.5 million people woke up to find that their passport has been revoked. But why? We did everything that you guys told us to do. Why did you revoke it? It is because they did not take the booster. They didn't take the booster, so they 4.5 million people has their passport revoked. So they're just seen as unjabbed. Boy, the devil don't play fair, do he? He does not play fair. People were stunned, waking up, finding out they can't do what they had to do no more. They can't go out to these restaurants and all that now because their passport has been revoked. The devil has given and he take it away. Woo! If you do not comply with the Babylonian system, this is the fate. Europeans, the most gullible race on the planet, has just had their blankets ripped off of them. The carpet pulled right out from under them. They thought they were being good little slaves. But the devil don't play fair. He does not play fair. Absolutely hilarious. I chuckled a bit when I read this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is what you get for trusting in the devil. And for all those who sold their soul to him, woo! I know he promised you eternal life. But yeah, you will get eternal life in the lake of fire. Ha! Yes, sir. You cannot escape the judgment. Judgment is coming upon you, heathen. Live it up while you can right now. If I was you. Absolutely hilarious to me. All those people. We did what you guys told us to do. And you didn't do enough. You gotta love the Most High. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. He has a sense of humor, don't he? Sense of humor. Oh, yes. I love it all. Yes, sir. Oh, boy. So we have, what's his face? Sleepy Joe in Washington, D.C. They issued an alert today. Now, this alert has to do because they are embracing for a trucker protest as the same ones that's been happening in Canada. So now they're bracing for their own revolt. More white people shit. Said it issued an alert Tuesday as officials brace for an expected caravan of trucks arriving in the nation's capital to emulate the anti-mandate trucker protests in Canada. Mayor Bowser is being briefed by public safety officials as we continue to monitor the situation closely. And our agencies remain in regular contact with their local, regional, and federal partners. Layered mitigation measures are being put in place, including some that will be visible to the public and others that are not. We appreciate the approval of the DC National Guard traffic support request as we pull together the resources to support our public safety personnel. Several different convoys of trucks are expected from across the country to be headed to the city, but it isn't clear how large the turnout will be. Oh, yeah, make it large. Make it huge. Or when the protesters will arrive. Some trucks may arrive as soon as Wednesday. That's today. While others may arrive to coincide with President Joe Biden's State of the Union speech next week. Oh, yes. I'm loving this. It also isn't clear if the truckers will gather within the actual city of D.C. Organizer Bob Bolus said he plans to leave Scranton, PA Wednesday, drive through D.C., and then to the Capitol Beltway with the goal of shutting down the highway, which wraps around the city. Woo! They trying to shut it down, the Capitol. Oh, the heathen are mad. The heathen are pissed off. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Get your popcorn, Israel. It's about to go down. Do not get involved in this nonsense. Let the white-on-white crime ensue. Let them do what they do. Stay out of Yah's way, Negroes. This is all the power of the Most High. This is his will. How else you going to destroy white people? They might using white people. Love it. He don't need us to do nothing. We on the bench. Stay on the bench, Israel. Do not get your ass into these protests. Let the white people do what the white people do. Man, oh man. They said, this man said he would allow a lane to open for emergency vehicles, but said if it disrupted people getting to and from work, that's too bad. Woo! You hear that? He said, I'll keep a lane open. I'll keep a lane open for emergency vehicles, but he said if it disrupted people getting to work and from work, that's too bad. Woo, boy, look at them heathen. Woo-hoo. They are enraged. They don't give a fuck if you go to work or not. They don't care if you get your money. This is why you stay out of this, Israel. This is what the heathen do. This is how they react to their kingdom being taken away from them slowly by the Most High. Funny how this guy has a shirt that says, God's got my back. Oh, this heathen is wearing a shirt that says, God's got my back. The irony. No, Yah's finna put you on your back, heathen. I think you got the wrong shirt. 500 cops in the D.C. force are to be put in civil disturbance units, which means they're going to be anti-riot police. Oh, man. I'm praying that it goes down. We get some gunshots. We get some people dead out there. That'll wake up Israel, I guarantee you. When they see Miss Daisy dead on the ground, maybe that'll wake up the Israelites in this country. I'm not holding my breath, though. I love it. Praise Yah. Rile the heathen up. Rile the heathen up. All praises to the Most High. Oh, yes. In weather news, this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this. Madagascar, which is east of Africa. Remember I told you about that Islamic or slave route that they did between Africa and India on that route between there? Well, Madagascar is in the middle of it. And they just got their fourth cyclone. That's what they call hurricanes over there in that region. Fourth in a month. Fourth. I've never seen anything like it. Even living in Florida during hurricane seasons, we never have 4 hurricanes in a month that hit Florida, ever. Or maybe have 4 that hit that season, But 4 in a month, the Most High is angry. Madagascar must be doing some heathen shit over there. Their 4th one. Storm is called Enmity. Hilarious, or Imnati. We can almost say that almost sounds like enmity to me. Coincidence? I don't know. Says here, enmity made landfall on the southeastern side of Madagascar, in the same region where Bezale'el, which is another storm, caused widespread damage and left at least 124 people dead at the beginning of February 2022. Imnati was not as powerful as Bezale'el, and there are currently no early reports of damage or casualties. This might change, however, as the day progresses. This is now the 4th tropical cyclone to make landfall in Madagascar within 1 month. Following Tropical Cyclone Anna on January 22nd, Bezale'el on February 5th, and Dumako on February 15th. My goodness. Can you imagine living in Madagascar? And it feels like every week or two, another one is coming in. You cannot. How do you rebuild? How do you rebuild if you're getting hit every other week with a hurricane? It says here, Anna left at least 88 people dead. Boy, the Most High is culling people left and right, family. He ain't playing. In Madagascar, Malawi, and Mozambique, of which at least 48 in Madagascar, coupled with an intertropical convergence zone that impacted the country January 17th. Bezale'el is this year's deadliest cyclone in the basin, with at least 124 people killed in Madagascar. Boom, just wiped off the map. 124,000 homes damaged or destroyed, and 30,000 displaced people. Whew. Dumako left at least 14 people dead and displaced more than 4,300. So we can add that to the 30,000. So that's 34,300. Spokeswoman at the World Meteorological Organization said it was rare to have groups of cyclones in the same area in close succession. That's because the Most High doing it. Heathen, the Most High is doing this. Everything is going to be rare from here on out. We're going to see countless and countless natural disasters popping up out of nowhere. Endless destruction. Most High is clearing the way for his people. How do you tear down other kingdoms? How do you make it desolate? You destroy it. That's how. He is paving the road for his people. Remember, it's going to be a highway going straight down to the promised land. There ain't going to be nothing there. The Most High is starting his destruction. Desolation is going to be everywhere. All praises. All praises. Love it. All praises to the Most High. Continue your destruction, Father. May your will be done. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Earlier this week, I don't know if y'all heard about this storm. It wreaked all kind of havoc in Europe. They didn't know what hit them. The name of the storm, Yelenia, wreaks havoc across northern Europe, leaving at least 5 people dead. Yelenia brought wind speeds up to 95 miles an hour to Germany, causing traffic chaos and widespread power outages. Residents living in the affected region were advised against driving unless strictly necessary and to keep a distance from buildings, scaffolding, power lines, and wooded area like forests and national parks. They canceled all trains, even people flying. Pilots were trying to maneuver to land because it came out of nowhere. They were swerving in the air. Luckily, there was no crashes for them. Luckily. but more than 170 towns and cities were affected by power outages. This happened on February 18th, by the way. And they're still going through right now. They're still cleaning up the pieces. Oh, yes. I love it. All praises. 3 people died in Germany. Strong winds damaged more than 500 homes in Poland and claimed the lives of 2. He just gave him a little warning. He could have killed way more people than he had to. These are the things that are happening around the world, man. Nobody. I'm talking about it. Nobody talks about these things. This is why I have to go and search out shit like this. They don't want you to know that the Most High is at work. They don't want you to know these things. Earthquakes still happening in South America. You got Mount Etna, which is in Italy, Fort Beach country, and it's still erupting. It's still going with no end in sight. Still spewing lava, still shutting down airplanes, airports, and all that stuff. The Most High's fury is being shown upon the earth. And these heathen continue to dismiss him by calling it global warming. In Brazil, this is crazy here. There was a landslide in Petropolis. That's what they call it, the city. Hilarious how that sounds like Metropolis. But Petropolis, landslide death toll raises to 152. More than 120 people are still missing. Most High is clearing the chessboard. It says the number of fatalities caused by floods and landslides in the city of Petropolis, Brazil, since February 15, 2002, has risen to 152 on February 20th, 2022. More than 120 people are still missing. At least 200 have been injured and 856 displaced. Local authorities registered 755 landslides in the area. Unheard of. Has anybody ever heard of that many landslides in one area in a span of a week? I'm waiting. Didn't think so. Severe storms continued battering the country over the past couple of days, with the neighboring Espírito Santo the worst affected on February 20th. Authorities there reported 2 fatalities, 1,200 forced to evacuate, and 43 homes destroyed. Severe weather has claimed the lives of at least 219 people since December 2021, and that number is going to go up. It's going to go up. Damn, this damage is crazy. See if this video has anything here. Man. Actually, I think I may want to share this video. Oh, no. Nah, never mind. It's 24 minutes. Oh, no. Oh, no. It just goes and shows all the damage. Boy. Most High ain't playing, bruh. Most High ain't playing. This is why it's stupid to go on vacation. Everybody wants to go on vacation and continue to live like it's normal. The Most High is making his wrath known in the earth. Stay in your house. Didn't the Most High say that? Stay in your house for a little while my wrath and indignation is out. Stay in your house. The time for traveling and going out and having fun and drinking mimosas, all that time has come and gone. It's been a very active winter here in Missouri. I haven't seen this much snow ever. I've been here for 3 years. No, it'll be my 4th year this year. The past 3 winters were nothing compared to this. I've never been this cold, this consistently in the winter. Last year's winter was mild. It wasn't as bad. The winter before that, nothing really. And the winter before that, really nothing. But this has been the most active winter since I've been here. These storms are getting more and more fierce. They're getting more and more frequent. We've got 2 storms that are coming in this week alone. The one that just passed over me, and that's going to hit the northeastern side. More flooding is going to be in the South Tennessee area, Louisiana, Mississippi, around that area. More flooding. These storms are becoming more and more consistent, family. On a daily, it's a weekly basis now. Almost, it feels like. There's some storm is coming in. It looks like next week, though, it's going to be a reprieve. So far, doesn't look like any type of weather is going to be here next week. But you never know about the Most High, boy, I tell you. You never know. But anyway, that's enough on the news and everything like that. To get to the meat of this podcast today, is going to be an article. An article. It's called The Revealing of Jesus Christ. It's by the same dude who I read The Color of the True Jews. It's going to be a banger. I don't think it's going to be that long, but this should definitely put a nail in the coffin of white Jesus. So I am going to share my screen, and we're going to get it popping. There is no normal now, Maria. There is no more normal. The normal has come. The normal has gone. There is no more normal. But we finna get in and put the nail in the coffin. White Jesus. Share my screen. Let's get it. If you can see my screen, give me a 1 in the chat, fam. Give me a 1 in the chat if you can see the screen, so we can get busy. I'm going to take my face off of it. Don't need to have that on there. Okay. All right. Let's get it. Says here, it is claimed that no one knows what Christ looked like in the flesh. Neither does it matter, since he died for the sins of the world. But what does the Bible, a respected Christian historian who lived during Christ's time, and early religious icons have to say about his physical appearance will be thoroughly investigated in this article. It says Christ was seen by many after his resurrection. 1 Corinthians 15:3 reads, "For I delivered unto you first of all that I which also received, how that Hamashiach died for our sins according to the scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he rose again the third day according to the scriptures." Verse 5, "And that he was seen of Cephas, then of the 12. Verse 6, "After that he was seen of above 500 brethren at once, of whom the greater part remain unto this present, but some are fallen asleep," which means they dead, fam. "After that he was seen of James, then of all the apostles, and last of all he was seen of me, Paul, also as of one born out of due time." So Christ was seen by hundreds of people when he walked on the earth. He later instructed John to write what he sees about him in a book as a record for his servants. It says the biblical description of Hamashiach, Yahushua. Revelation 1:1. The revelation of Yahushua Hamashiach, which Elohim gave unto him to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. Verse 10, jump down. "I was in the spirit on the Lord's day, and heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. And what thou seest, write, in a book. Verse 12. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me. And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Daniel the prophet also gave a similar description related to God's, the Ancient of Days, woolly hair in Daniel 7 and 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down. And the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. Note the woolly hair in the picture on the left, which is only a depiction based on the biblical accounts, and compare it to the sheep's wool on the right. The dictionaries of 1916 define woolly hair as meaning a Negro. But that definition has since been removed, heathen, from modern dictionaries to hide the fact that if Jesus, I'll just say the name, is recorded as having woolly hair, then he must be a Negro. See, they hide it. Can't show that Jesus is a nigga. No way. Got to portray the fact that he is a pale hippie. Lice-filled hair. Ha! The only people on earth who have this woolly, kinky, nappy hair are those of the black race, whose hair in its natural state resembles the wool of a lamb. All praises. John also gives us a description. Hey, shalom to Ariel in the chat. Big salute, brother. Hope you're having a good day out there. Continuing, John also gives us a description of the Most High, as well in Revelation chapter 4, verse 3, and it reads, and he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and sardine stone. On the left are jasper or sardine stones, and on the right are jasper stones, both ruddy in color. Daniel also described the color of Christ's flesh in chapter 10, verses 5 through 6, and it reads, then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. In this verse, Daniel uses the word color, in describing Christ's arms and feet, which disproves those claims that the word color is not used in the Bible to describe Christ. A similar description is also recorded by John in Revelation 1, verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace. John, on looking at Christ's feet, compared the color to that of fine brass when burnt in the furnace. This proves that he is black. Other disinformation being circulated is that Christ was Middle Eastern and olive-skinned. The fuck does that mean? But since olives, left image, come in green, brown, dark red, purple, or dark black, this line of reasoning will suggest that Christ may have been green in complexion in order to avoid accepting the biblical description of him being black, like the olive color on the right corner of the left image. How you be green? How are you green? Idiots. Idiots. And people believe this. They'll say, oh, he was multicolored. He was all colors. What does that mean? He was all colors. My father told me that once. And I was stunned in disbelief. I couldn't even say nothing after that. I was just stunned in silence. How can you? I'm like, Dad, you don't say you're all colors. When you look at the mirror, do you see all colors, Father? No, you are of a certain color. There is no one on the planet that is multicolored. Zero. You're of one color. But everybody refuses to say he was black, because that goes against the brainwashing that them white Europeans used on our people to get them in this line of thinking, to keep them attached to white Jesus, aka the face of white supremacy. Because without that white Jesus, white people will have no power. That's why they must keep that white Jesus in front at all times on all nations, to show he looked like us and not you. So you give us our power. You give us your power unto us. That is the delusion, fam. Moving on. Burnt bronze could only be used to describe a color range from a very dark brown to a jet black complexion. So those who believe that Christ looked Middle Eastern, it's not even a thing, Middle East, and had an olive cream colored skin tone are deliberately denying the biblical description of Christ, which clearly states he has skin the color of burnt brass. In fact, when referring to black-skinned people, the Negroes, not the Africans here, we can't get that mixed up, because a lot of people love to confuse the two. Very often, the olive color is used since it describes the darkest complexion, which borders on jet black, similar to this man from the Sudan, a country with many olive-skinned people. Man, look how dark this nigga is right here, boy. Woo! Damn! That's black. That is charcoal black right there. Woo! The Suez Canal is an artificial waterway built in Egypt between 1859 and 1869 that deliberately cut off Israel from Egypt, Africa. The term Middle East was invented during those years, 1850s, only becoming popular around 1902. So when anyone thinks of Israel, Black Africa no longer comes to mind, but a programmed mental image of an area with a non-Black population because of this newly invented geographic term, Middle East. It makes no sense. Middle East? Where is Middle North? Where is Middle West? Where is Middle South? It's a goddamn direct. It's a compass. How you gonna call an area a compass direction? What? Huh? And people go along with it. Oh, the Middle Eastern people. It doesn't make any sense. Well, I tell you, when you actually read this stuff, your brain, you just look at this stuff and be like, how the fuck did I ever believe this shit? Boy, I tell you, all praise the for the knowledge. All praises. The Suez Canal. I read that. Revelation 2:18 says, "These things saith the Son of God, who hath his eyes like unto a flame of fire, and his feet are like fine brass." They continue on that. Look at this painting here. It says here, this is a 16th century depiction of the vision of John the Divine, located at Patmos, Monastery of St. John. All black people here. All black. Ain't even the angels are black. This is what their depiction of it was. Ezekiel 40, verse 3. "And he brought me thither, and behold, there was a man whose appearance was like the appearance of brass." Skip over to chapter 43 and 2, and it reads, "And behold, the glory of God of Israel came from the way of the east, and his voice was like a noise of many waters, and the earth shined with his glory." Brass is brown in color, and when it is burnt, will become even darker, but certainly not white like the white Christ that is portrayed in the mainstream media. Daniel and John found this information about Christ to be of such great importance that they left a record of it in the scriptures for our benefit. Israel. There's a reason why it mentioned in there, because they knew, Yahushua knew that they would change, they would whitewash him. That's why they left it in the Bible. Yet it is rejected, and false doctrines and lies are accepted instead. Facts. The color of Christ therefore matters. Otherwise, it would not have been mentioned in the Bible to enlighten his lost sheep, Israel. And neither would the Caucasian have gone to such great lengths to change his skin tone from black to white so it would match their likeness. And they love to say, oh, its color don't matter. Well, then why did you change it, heathen? If its color does not matter, why didn't you leave it black? Oh, that's right. You don't get no power from a black Jesus. No, you don't. Just admit it, heathen. But it doesn't matter. Your lies are becoming unraveled in this day. People are awakening to your lies. Other nations, your lies, your Psalm 83 pact is coming undone. All praises to Yah for waking up his lost sheep scattered across the world. Waking up. All praises. Christ's image would have been left unchanged so the world would know the truth concerning him in the patriarchs of the Bible. So those who argue that Christ's color is not important are caught up in a mass suppression of the truth as it relates to ancient history. Next section. Believe on Christ as the scriptures have said. 1 John chapter 4 verse 1 warns, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Verse 2, hereby know ye the spirit of Elohim, every spirit that confesseth that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God. Verse 3, and every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God, and that is a spirit of Antichrist. Plain and simple right there. Christ also made a very important statement in John chapter 7 verse 38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said. That means you believe the scriptures and not private interpretate your own version of what it says, that you believe it as is. Out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. That's the spirit. That's the Ruach HaKodesh, that living water. It is clear that those actors who play the role of Christ in Hollywood movies do not represent a true image of Christ as it is recorded in the scriptures, because they do not have the woolly hair or the black skin color as described. It is also evident that for centuries, the world has not believed on Christ as the scriptures have said, choosing instead to believe the false doctrines that were created by the Europeans in an attempt to deceive the masses. And boy, it has worked, especially on our people. You believe in a savior that is not your color. Whew. Warnings of deceptions concerning false Christ. A warning regarding the many false Christs who will arise is found in Matthew chapter 24, verses 4 through 5. So there is no excuse for being uninformed. And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 10 also reads, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Verse 11, and for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned, who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. And aren't we going to do that right now? All this pleasure in unrighteousness, the majority of people on this earth, Israelite and other nation, aren't they just wallowing around in their own filth, caught up in celebrity nonsense, caught up in false religions, caught up in vanity, caught up in fornication and all these other deadly sins? That strong delusion is here, fam. It is here. So many people are falling away. The delusion has caught even the people in the truth, that they have fallen away, not even believing anymore in the book. They have fallen away from the truth. The delusion that Elohim has sent out has caught them up and has taken them away from the sun. You can't even tell people these days about Yahushua. You can't even do it. Their conscience has been seared with that hot iron. You can't even talk to people. This is why I do not try and talk to people about it. Unless they ask me explicitly about it, I don't bring it up because it is pointless. Now, I'll spread the gospel on my podcast, and whoever listens to it, then I know that Yahushua sent them to listen to it. But I'm not going out in public and nope, I'm not doing any of that. Nope. Just going to cause division, strife. I'm trying to lessen the stress that I deal with. No, sir. Moving on. The history of the Israelites is well documented in the Bible, which has been in circulation for many years. Still, the world has been deceived by what the church leaders have been preaching. Therefore, what Christ has warned us against was either missed, ignored, or not believed. The slave master was responsible for introducing this new religion based on white Jesus. He also came in his name proclaiming, "I am the Christ," while circulating many false doctrines with the sole purpose of dominating the world through this great deception. Matthew 24, verses 23 and 24, forewarns us even further. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets. It's in the book. Yet people still do not. I tell you. In order to identify a false Christ, it is necessary to know what the real Christ looks like, as has been recorded in Revelations chapter 1, 14 and 15, and Daniel 10 and 5 through 6. These passages describe the real Christ as having woolly hair and a skin tone that is comparable to the color of burnt brass. Yet in homes and churches are proudly displayed these false images featuring a straight-haired, effeminate white man posing as Christ. The world must be made aware that this is the image of Caesar Borgia, the son of Pope Alexander VI, and not Christ. 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3 reads, "But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds shall be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ." Verse 4, "For if he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, whom we have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit which ye have not received, or another gospel which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him." Don't believe the hype. There are many false doctrines that are arising. I'm learning more about new stuff every day. We got people thinking Hashatan raped Eve. Whew. We got people thinking everything was done in 70 AD. We got people who don't even believe in the New Testament. They don't even believe in Yahushua HaMashiach. They Yah only. And many more false doctrines that are out there in the wild, that are coming up out of the woodwork like roaches, coming to spread their filth to the believers, to grab them and take their crown away from them. Hashatan works 24/7, 365. One less person to get a crown is a victory for Hashatan. And boy, he is bringing people, he's taking people's crowns away by the boatloads in this last hour. We at the finish line and people are quitting the race. The finish line is in sight. It's there. All we got to do is keep running towards it. But people are saying, fuck it. They are drawing out of the way. They are bowing out. They are saying, I'm tired. I'm done. I'm finna go over here. Whew. May y'all have mercy on their souls. My goodness. Oh boy, I tell you. Whew. Moving on. Paul did not want us to be deceived in the same way that Eve was deceived by the serpent, but expected us to at least have a basic understanding of Christ. But in the end, we were still easily led astray. We still being led astray. Contrary to what the scriptures have revealed, which described Hamashiach as having woolly hair and flesh the color of burnt brass, the Europeans were responsible for teaching another Jesus with straight hair and white skin. The apostles never taught any doctrine that Christ, his disciples, or the patriarchs of the Bible were white people. Next chapter. Other unknown gods will be served during slavery. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 7, and it reads, "And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations." The him spoken of here alludes to America, England, Portugal, Spain, and France, those European countries which made war against the remnant of Israel. We all know where they get their power from. Their true power comes from Rome. That's the true power. But the true power comes from Ha-Shatan, of course. And then it branches out from there. To make war against the remnant of Israel, overcoming them through enslavement and brutality, because he was given the power to have dominion over the earth. Deuteronomy 28:15 reads, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." Verse 68, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt not see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you," redeem you, basically. The meaning of Egypt is clarified in Exodus 20:2. "I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage," captivity, slavery. Deuteronomy 28:64 says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." As the Israelites did not listen to God's warnings, they were sent back into slavery and shipped to foreign lands as a punishment. And there, under the guise of a new religion, they were forced by their captors to worship a previously unknown white god and to accept their strange doctrines when they were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Prior to the slave period, our ancestors knew nothing about any Caucasian named Jesus Christ, because no such individual ever existed. Facts. Revelation 13:8, "And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world." The whole world has been deceived into worshiping this European Christ as Savior of the world. Revelation 13:11 gives a clue as to the time period when the image of this false Christ will be set up on the earth. "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." The first beast alludes to ancient Rome, which fell around 193 AD, but returned to power again during the Renaissance or rebirth period around 1453. And they're going to make a big old coming back real soon when they set up that new United Nations. They already got the building for it. Well, it's already built. Well, half built. Looking like the Tower of Babel. They're just waiting. They are just waiting. When the Europeans fought to destroy the Israelites, overcoming them and taking complete control of the earth through violent means, Matthew 24:24, "And shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect." Revelation 13:13, "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men." It is said that fire came down from heaven. I don't know about this one here, but I keep an open mind about everything. I'm just reading through. Everybody has their own interpretations. It is said that fire came down from heaven when the atom bomb was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. Laws were passed which prohibited anyone from teaching the slaves to read and write, because the slave owners were aware that if the captives knew that Christ was black like them, it would have been difficult to easily subdue them. That's true. Unfortunately, the acceptance of this white Jesus has effectively destroyed the self-esteem and pride of black people. Yep, you got our men want to be like white boys, and you got our women want to be like white girls. Got blonde hair, contacts, bleaching their skin, talking like them. Whew, boy, we destroyed. Causing them to develop a self-hatred which has been plaguing them for hundreds of years. They can't even see themselves as the children of Israel of this book because they don't like themselves. They can't even see that the people in this book look just like them. But since they hate themselves and hate black, they cannot see that. We ain't powerful. We ain't his people. That means we special. We not special. Mr. Charlie, he's special. Miss Daisy, she's special. Holding on. Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send thee against thee in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness and in want of all things. In order to source food, clothes, water, education, religious training, etc., the captives have to go to their enemies to get these things. And that's true to this day. Deuteronomy 28:48 continues, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. The yoke of iron was only removed from around the necks of the slaves after they were totally destroyed both mentally and spiritually as a people. Deuteronomy 28:49 reads, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. The symbol of the European nations is the eagle. In the new lands, the enslaved Israelites did not understand the languages spoken by those nations from afar, such as English, Spanish, French, Dutch, Portuguese, as these were all foreign tongues to them. Moreover, during slavery, the captives were deprived of their Hebrew names and mercilessly whipped into accepting the names of their masters and to adopt foreign nationalities and languages. That's how we are today. We think we're African American. We think we're Brazilian. We think we're Jamaican. We think we're Haitian. We think we're Bahamian. We think we're Dutch. We think we're Chinese. We think we're Japanese. We think we're Australian. We think we're Indian from the land of India. Japanese, Thai, Filipino. We think we're all these things because we've been there, because we've been scattered to all these worlds. We have taken to their customs and whatever their proverb or byword that they give us, we have accepted that and we call it. We call ourselves those things. Destroyed. Deuteronomy 28:50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor shew favor to the young. The elder slaves were forced to pick cotton, tobacco, and reap sugarcane. The little children were also required to pick tobacco and help with the harvesting of the sugarcane. In addition, babies were used as alligator bait by the slave owners, who would bind and place a crying baby near the edge of a riverbank to entice an alligator come out from its hiding place and devour the baby. The alligator would then be pulled ashore and killed for its leather, which was used to manufacture shoes, purses, wallets, belts, and other leather goods. That's bullshit, bro. That's still some bullshit, man. Damn. Revelation 13:14. And deceiveth them that dwell in the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell in the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. These images came to life through Hollywood movies, television, etc. Caesar Borgia poses as Jesus Christ. During the Renaissance period, when the Europeans had conquered the Israelite Moors and seized power through violent means, they began promoting their own culture and introduced the image of Caesar Borgia to the world as a new image of Christ, with deadly consequences for those who refused to accept and worship this newly invented Christ. When the Israelite slaves were brought into the new world, they were threatened with death if they did not worship this strange white god. So whoever refused to pay homage to this foreign god and religion were slaughtered like animals. Whew. That's facts. History bears witness to the millions that were killed for not worshiping this new white image of Christ, as Rome and Spain dispatched people like Christopher Columbus, Hernan Cortez, Ponce de Leon, and Amerigo Vespucci with armies to murder, enslave, and indoctrinate the Israelite people into worshiping this newly created European god. And boy, does that still go on today, boy. Well, except they don't kill you. They don't kill you like they outright kill you like they did before, but they can withhold things from you. the beginning of the white deception, and the real reason for converting Africans, who they call us. Our ancestors were tied to the whipping post, where they were flogged until they confessed their love and acceptance for the new white Christ. Look at this shit, fam. Look at this shit right here. Look at this. Can you imagine this? All these heathen around and they whipping you until you say, I love Jesus. I love white Jesus. Please don't whip me no more, master. I love white Jesus. Can you imagine that? Man, they're going to have to beat me to death. Hey, I'm just a rebellious at heart. That's just me. I don't care. But damn, but just imagine that. And them whips hurt. Them whips hurt. The slave masters and colonizers were not seeking to save the souls of quote-unquote Africans when they were converting them against their will to Christianity, because they were of the belief that black people had no souls. That's projection, because they don't have no souls. Or no spirituality, at least. According to them, heaven was reserved only for white people. Therefore, the real reason for forcing Christianity on black people was to implant and disseminate the theory of a white God into their minds. In other words, when the slaves were being forced to worship a white Jesus as the Son of God through Christianity, the reasoning behind it was that if the Son of God were white, then God, as his father, also had to be white. This mental image of a white God would then trigger an intense adoration for whiteness. Boy, look at it right now, boy. Are people running after these white folks or anything that look white? That could be these Spanish people as well, because they whited out. I just call them spicy Caucasians. That's what I call the Spanish people. Spicy Caucasians. It works. It sticks. I like it. That's why our people are joined up to these people. That's why this 12 tribe chart, it got nothing but white people as the northern tribe, because they want to mate with these white people. They want to mate with Becky. They want Becky. They want Maylene. Yep, they want Consuela. They want it all, boy. If it ain't black, they want it. They want it. Our people are lost. Praise Yah for getting me out of that delusion, but I believe Yah did that for a reason. He had me go through them Gentiles my whole life, since the age of 22, up until a year ago. He had me go through that because he wanted me to learn a lesson. He wanted me to be a testimony towards my brethren out there that there is no connection. That's what I believe. Yah sent me through all that. That was my purpose. That is my purpose now. It's to act as a testimony to save my brethren from going into what I had to go through. Now I praise Yah for giving me the knowledge and taking me out and showing me why he did the things he did. Moving on here. It would then trigger an intense adoration for whiteness deep within the subconscious minds of black people, which would then be subconsciously converted to an idolization of the white race as godly and superior to all the other races, even though we know it's the opposite. This brainwashing was designed to operate at the subconscious level without anyone being aware, which resulted in the creation of slaves that were more submissive, subservient, obedient, and devoted to their white oppressors, and also made it easier for Africa to be colonized. Unfortunately, after many generations, the after effects of this indoctrination process implemented almost 400 years ago have never been corrected nor purged from the consciousness. So it continues to exist in the minds of millions of so-called black people today. This is the main reason why black churches continue to stubbornly embellish their walls with false images of white deities only. Damn pastors, TD Snakes, Creflo Dollar, Eddie Long, all them niggas. Jamal Bryant. Traitors. This type of Christianity being practiced today by black Christians is not the same belief that was practiced in ancient North Africa prior to 325 AD. The original African belief was taken over by the Romans, who recreated and repackaged it into the current counterfeit, corrupt version of itself. Emperor Constantine has set out to modernize that ancient African belief in order to make it more compatible with the prevailing pagan beliefs of the Romans. In so doing, the Romans completely butchered the original African belief system. When we say African, we mean Israelite here. And also removed 18 books from the original Bible because they were not compatible with the new concepts being fabricated. Many African supporters of the original belief system who were against the counterfeit modifications were put to death because of their unyielding stance. It is this later modification of the Roman version of Christianity and not the original African belief system that was forced down the throats of African people during the slavery in the USA, Great Britain, Latin America, the Caribbean, and the colonized territories in Africa. It is this recreated, redesigned, rewritten, revised religious system developed by Emperor Constantine that is presently being practiced by Black people all over the world today. But from the very beginning, Black people always had a deep connection with their Creator, the Most High God, which is far older than Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, and Christianity. Facts, facts, facts. Europeans began painting themselves as biblical characters. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where? And who is he? Romans 1:22 and 23. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools and changed the glory of the incorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. First Maccabees 3:48 reads, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. It's all in the book, man. These verses explain that God allowed the earth to be handed over to the wicked, who quickly embarked on a mission to erase the real faces of the judges. This got started in the Renaissance period when the images of the Black Israelites were altered to look white. The insertion of these misleading images into the Bible, religious books, and other publications became so popular that it quickly became the accepted practice. But prior to the Renaissance period, there were no paintings of any Caucasian Christ anywhere. Caesar Borgia used as a model to create false images of Christ. This is the early sketch of Caesar Borgia, which was used as the model for creating the false images of Christ. You don't see nobody talking about this sketch. Look at this sketch here, bruh. I don't see nobody bringing this stuff out, this true history. Nobody. Looks just like the Christ of today. On a page inside the book entitled Russian Icons, this picture is displayed, which shows an artist unashamedly repainting the faces of the judges by lightening their skin tones so as to transform them into the likeness of the white man. Look at this heathen right here. Got the white one right, painting the white one right there. Sad, fam. During the Renaissance or Rebirth period, which was a cultural movement that began in Italy around the 1300s, many Jesuit priests were hired to travel through Europe to paint Caucasian images to replace the original Black paintings that were in existence for centuries. Pope Alexander VI of Rome had also commissioned Leonardo da Vinci to repaint all the biblical characters as Caucasians. In 1508, Pope Julius II commissioned Michelangelo Buonarroti to decorate the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, allowing him to interpret and portray as white people the creation of man and other historical events of the Old Testament preceding Christ's birth. Boy, them niggas unashamedly did it. The Jehovah's Witness also published a book entitled The Greatest Man Who Ever Lived. That's this image on the right, which continued to promote this false image of a white Christ throughout its pages. For centuries, these corrupt images have caused Black people to hate themselves because they began to accept and believe that Christ was white and not Black like them. Even today, most people still continue to accept this lie. It should be recognized that these false images have been playing a pivotal role because they continue to linger in the subconscious minds of Black people, causing their perception to be destroyed, which in turn not only leads to a deep internalized self-hatred, but are also responsible for creating that ingrained inferiority complex. These false images were never a part of the Holy Bible, so it goes to show that it was a Caucasian who was racist from the beginning, because he despised the true biblical image of Christ in his people so much that he retouched and replaced it with his own likeness. So we can never be racist. Hey, Shalom, Akben. Welcome to the stream, brother. Hope you're doing well out there. So yeah, what I was saying. It is the Caucasian who is racist. We can never be racist, fam. We can never be racist. We don't have the power to do anything. Anything to change anything for our people in this country. But they do. So that's just why they are the racists. Sad, shame. It is what it is. This act in itself proves that color does matter. But when black people attempt to set the record straight, like I do, and point out the lies and deception being circulated, they are labeled as racist and supremacists and prejudiced. I don't care. Call me whatever you want, white folk. I don't give a damn. Your meaningless insults mean nothing to me. I'm going to keep on telling the truth. An early Christian historian describes Christ. The ancient Greeks and Romans kept records of what they saw. And one of these historical records, which is kept in the Vatican, includes a detailed physical description of Christ, as witnessed by a first century Roman Jewish scholar and historian named Titus Flavius Josephus, whose works have been held in high esteem by Christians throughout history. One of his works here, in Halosis, second chapter, verse 174, it reads, "At that time, also there appeared a certain man of magic power. If it be meet to call him a man whose name is Jesus, whom certain Greeks call a son of God, but his disciples call the true prophet, who is supposed to have raised dead persons and to have cured all diseases. Both his nature and his form were human, for he was a man of simple appearance." Simple appearance. He didn't come in here looking like a fucking runway model, like these white Christs, like they like to portray. He was no runway model. Sorry. Mature age, black skinned. Hello. Short growth. So he was short. He wasn't over 6 feet for you modern women out there today. 3 cubits tall. What is 3 cubits? I have no idea what 3 cubits tall equals. I have no idea what 3 cubits tall equals. Let's see. I don't know what it equals. I have no idea. I don't know. What does 3 cubits equal? That's what I want to look at. I'm like, what is 3 cubits? I'm gonna Google that to see it. I thought it was 3 cubits. 2 feet. That's the only way I see it. Doesn't really say anything here. What? They say 3 cubits tall. That is 4 feet 5. They saying Christ was a midget. 4 feet 5. That's what they say. I have no idea. This is what heathens say. But that's what 3 cubits is. It's 4 feet 5 inches tall. Interesting. That's what Josephus is saying. Like I said, I don't put no what's the name into these heathen shit. 3 cubits tall. That's 4 feet 5. They calling Christ a midget. Now read on. They say he was hunchbacked, prognathous, with a long face, a long nose, eyebrows meeting above the nose, that the spectators could take fright, with scanty, curly, kinky hair, but having a line in the middle of the hand after the fashion of the Nazarenes, with an undeveloped beard. This is Josephus saying. This is not what the guy who's actually writing the stuff. He just put that in there to show that he was black. I don't know about these other things that they put in there. All right. Says here, we're just going by this is what Josephus said. I put no stock into this stuff. I'm just reading the article. He just put it there to show that he was black. I don't know about any of the other stuff that dude said. They say he was hunchback. They saying Christ hunchback. he fucking hunchback of Notre Dame. That's what they say Christ looked like. Oh boy. Woo boy, these heathen, boy, I tell you. I don't know where he was getting them descriptions from. Woo, says his description of a short, black-skinned Jesus with tight, kinky hair and an undeveloped beard bears no similarity to the handsome white Jesus that is portrayed by the Roman Catholics and other Christian churches as a straight-haired, fully bearded savior. However, this Roman description of Jesus is in harmony with the biblical record left by the prophet Isaiah in chapter 53, 1-3, that highlights an often overlooked description of the physical appearance of Christ. It says, who hath believed our report? And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? Verse 2, for he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness, which means he wasn't beautiful. He didn't come like a runway model. And when he shall see them, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. That's what scripture is saying. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Woo. That's crazy. So when you read it that way, and then they say, hey, he was hunchback and 4 feet tall and short growth and had an unkempt beard. I mean, hey, that's a form of no comeliness. I don't know if that's a true description of what he looked like. But who knows? People, hey, no one knows. we gonna see him when he comes back. I guarantee you he gonna come in a different form. So no one really knows what his true form looks like. But I think Daniel would have told it if it was hunchback. I think Daniel would have said, yeah, he was hunchback and all that other shit too. Yeah, you know. But they don't say none of that stuff. It says here, Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo compete to create the new image of Christ. This global deception came into existence around 1492 during the Renaissance period, when there was a contest between Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo Buonarroti to determine who could make the greatest impression on King Rodrigo Borgia, Pope Alexander VI, by creating an image of his son Caesar Borgia to be used as the new global image of Christ in an effort to keep the Israelite captives dormant so the Roman Empire could maintain a tight grip on his rulership. It is a well-known fact that Pope Alexander VI, Rodrigo Borgia, loved his favorite son, Caesar Borgia, on the left. That's him right there on the left. Oh, funny-looking motherfucker. So much that he wanted a portrait of him produced to replace the original black images of Christ. Leonardo da Vinci, who won the contest, was commissioned by this Roman Pope to create the new model image of Christ to pass him off as European on the right. Therefore, with the blessing of the Catholic Church, Caesar's picture was marketed and popularized as Jesus Christ throughout the world. The Catholic Church has therefore been deceiving the entire world into believing that this is the image of the Christ, when it is fact Caesar Borgia, the beloved son of Pope Alexander VI, who was considered as the most handsome man in Italy. I don't know who said that shit. That nigga look like a fun boy. Oh, he is a fun boy. So it don't matter. A brief history of Caesar Borgia, the new face of Christ. The false image being worshipped today on the right is that of Caesar Borgia, a homosexual Italian mobster and a mass murderer on the left. That's him on the left too, who was used as the model to create the ever-popular white Messiah, which Christians everywhere worshipped as God. Interestingly, when Leonardo da Vinci was in Caesar Borgia's service as a military architect and engineer between 1502 and 1503, they became lovers. So as a means of expressing his love for Caesar, Leonardo painted numerous portraits of him. Caesar, renowned for the murder of his political rivals, was also known for having a sexual relationship with his sister, Lucretia Borgia, and was said to have murdered his brother, Giovanni Juan Borgia. Yet this was the very man whose picture the Catholic Church approved of and endorsed to be used, exported, and circulated as the image of Jesus the Christ to the world. I just shake my head, bruh. The Renaissance period in the fine arts. The Renaissance period, which marked the triumph of the Caucasian coming out of captivity and rising to power, signaled the end of the reign of the Dark Ages races, a period when the Israelites ruled throughout all of Europe. The growth of the Renaissance quickly expanded and Christianity was introduced to the world, which quickly led to the total destruction of Black culture in Europe. During this period, the repainting of major historical figures from Black to white began in earnest, giving rise to the many fake paintings coming into the circulation that portrayed Mary and Jesus as white. Look at this picture here, boy. They white as snow. White. Look at them. Oh, pale as demons here. This was a desperate attempt to whitewash the preceding Black rulers out of history and promote a racist structure of white supremacy in its place. Most of the latter paintings of Christ are based on the images of Cesare Borgia, which have influenced the majority of the portraits of Christ produced from that point onwards. The style of painting and decorative art associated with the Renaissance period reached its peak during the 15th and early 16th centuries through the artistry of Italian painters like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo Buonarroti, and Raffaello Sanzio. When Ottobello Meloni painted his version of Christ around 1520, he drew much of his inspiration from an earlier Cesare Borgia painting, but distorted the distinctions between the features and ethnicities of the figure with one of the most corrupt productions at the time. This is Ottobello Meloni's effeminate portrayal of Christ, and I guess that's that on the right. He do look like a bitch. The reproduction of portraits of Christ in fine art form took years to reach an accepted standardized form for his physical appearance before remaining consistent. Portraits of Christ were now being done as full frontal depictions with distinctive facial features, shoulder-length hair, an extended thin nose, and a parted beard. In other words, the image of the Black Christ was completely eliminated and transformed into the likeness of the Caucasian based on Cesare Borgia's image and commissioned by the Catholic Church. The same Catholic Church that all these white people still say is ultimate power. Hilarious. These seemingly innocent pictures were used as one of the main vehicles to perpetuate the racist system of white supremacy, despite knowing that history and archaeology have long supported the fact that the writers of the Bible were not Caucasian. In fact, everyone in the world, in the known world at that time when history was being recorded, was still genetically Black. Facts, facts, facts. Yep, fun boys, Ogben, fun boys. They all got down in them orgies out there, old nasty bastards. The well-known Head of Christ painting. Boy, this is the one that everybody got. Your grandma got this painting right here. Warner Salmon, a commercial artist who became a member of the Fundamentalist Bible College, wanted to use his talents for the kingdom. He was approached by a dean to paint a new Head of Christ portrait that was not as effeminate as the Cesare Borgia renditions. Warner Salmon's 1941 Head of Christ portrait on the left was produced and marketed for the Church of God. Jesus is depicted with long hair gazing towards heaven. This Head of Christ painting is undoubtedly the most recognized and popular image of Christ of all time. Yes, sir. Which has been deeply etched into the minds of everyone from childhood, mainly because it was reproduced using a variety of different formats. This image rapidly spread all over the world and is estimated to have been reprinted more than 1 billion times. Woo! Making it the most reproduced image in world history. Give me a second, folks. Give me 1 second. Get some more water. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. But yeah, it has been embraced by Blacks, whites, Mormons, Catholics, Protestants, Native Americans, and practically everyone around the globe, making it one of the most recognized pieces of art that has ever been used to embellish Bible pages, Sunday school literature, calendars, posters, church bulletins, bumper stickers, fans, lamps, buttons, ornaments, Sunday school classrooms, walls, churches, and the home. This image has been instrumental in influencing casting for movies about Jesus on television and in big screen movies. As Europe began to prosper, a crusade was launched to circulate this white Jesus to the world when the Bible was being translated from the African languages to the European languages. The first English version of the Bible became available around the time of Wycliffe in 1380 to 1393. And in 1611, the King James Version was produced. Europeans began inserting these fake images of the white Christ and his white disciples onto the Bible end pages to fool the world into believing that salvation came through this white savior. David Morgan, an art historian, interviewed hundreds of people by asking them about their feelings regarding Warner Sallman's Head of Christ portrait. One woman said the picture appeals to her because it shows just what Jesus looked like. Woo! I guarantee you that's a white woman. I guarantee that's a white woman who said that. I bet you feel all warm and fuzzy inside because, oh, he looked like me. Yay, he looked like me. That makes me better than you, black people. I bet you that's what went through their heads, boy. Some have reacted strongly against the head of Christ because it resembled an effeminate person to them. As one New Testament professor wrote, we have a pretty picture of a woman with a curling beard who has just come from the beauty parlor with a halo shampoo, but we do not have the Lord who died and rose again. Damn. Damn. Boy, that heathen went in on that picture, boy. Damn. 1 Corinthians 11:14 reads, doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is giving her for a covering. But if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of God. During the 20th century, as America began uprising to superpower status, it became the world's leading manufacturer and international exporter of this invented white Jesus around the world via its movies, fine art, Christian missions, Bible inserts, churches, and American businesses. This newly empowered and globally recognizable white Jesus rapidly gained popularity as a sacred symbol for a new national unity, justice, and racial supremacy. Like I said, boy, Christ is the face. This white Jesus is the face of white supremacy. He is what gives them all their power. Edward Blum and Paul Harvey commented, by wrapping itself with the alleged form of Jesus, whiteness gave itself a holy face. With Jesus as white, Americans could feel that sacred whiteness stretched back in time thousands of years and forward in sacred space to heaven in the second coming. The white Jesus promised a white past, a white present, and a future of white glory. This is why white people, all of them, they all have this shit built innately into them. I don't care if they say, oh, I'm not racist. It's built in. You're benefiting from it. They all benefit from it, which is why none of them, the majority of them, don't do nothing to stop the system because they like the system. They benefit from the system. So why are they going to stop the gravy train and make them equal to the melanated races? Oh, no. Nope. They will never stop this gravy train, no matter what they say. Black Lives Matter. Yeah, you say that. But yet you are still benefiting from your white supremacy, bitch. And I said it. This is why I do not want to fellowship. I do not want to be around them. Because I know they all think like this. And I know y'all has a bunch out of these other nations that are going to come and cleave. But at this point, I'm looking at every one of them as heathen. I'll let y'all do the picking out. That's how I'm doing it. All right, it is what it is. Moving on. However, modern research has shown through DNA tests results from discovered tombs containing the names and bodies of Mary of Magdalene, Martha, and Lazarus that the people of the village of Magdala, where they lived, were in fact Negroes. Archaeologists were inspired to begin such excavations in Judea as a place where Jesus was born, based on this verse in Matthew 2, verses 1 through 2. Now, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, In the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? Early images of the Black Christ compared to the present images of the false Christ. The real Jesus is referred to as the Lamb of God, with woolly hair and that resembles the wool of a lamb. In the earliest of times, Jesus was always depicted in paintings, carvings, and sculptures as a young black man with short woolly hair wearing African-type attire, like this early picture right here on the left. This wall carving of the young black Jesus on the left is located in the catacombs of Rome, no less. However, when Christianity became the state religion, the images of Jesus took on a noticeable Caucasian appearance, like the one on the right. And from that point on, a new distinctive look was developed, portraying Jesus in royal robes with shoulder-length hair, a parted beard, a thin nose, and a halo. The halo is currently identified with Christianity, but it was in use long before the Christian era, with origins tracing back to the Egyptian age of sun worship around 3000 BC. The halo was later adopted by the Greeks around 300 BC as a main feature of the sun god Apollo. It was originally shunned in early Christian art because of its adoption from pagan art forms. However, in the middle of the 4th century, this pagan symbol was added above Christ's head to symbolize his heavenly attributes. Oh boy. Man, oh man. Whew. After these fake images began to dominate the world of art and became universally accepted, armed security guards were stationed at the entrances of the catacombs to hide the truth concerning the true Israelites, the biblical characters, and the Black Christ. Boy, and them fucking guards are going to be judged for your nonsense. Judged. You want to roll with wickedness? Fuck you. Die. Put you in a lake. And to prevent the world from seeing the original wall carvings of Christ in his original black glory. See, these all in the catacombs, boy. They ain't going to tell you. They ain't going to tell you. That's why they locked them shits. All this stuff, all our history is locked under the catacombs. And the Most High going to bring all that shit to light. He going to crumble all that shit and bring that shit forth. When we all going to see, the whole world going to know, he black. It must be recognized that the Israelite people were black and were always depicted that way before white racism surfaced. After that time, any black image on display in a museum or book was now categorized as a Nubian, a slave, or a servant, but never as a ruler or royalty. Bitch ass niggas. Because they know who we truly are. They know they're going to bow down. They're going to know they're going to bow down in the end. Yeah, you're going to bow down to a black man in the end. Whether you like it or not, white boy, Asian, Indian, Native American, Latinos, Africans, you bowing down. You're bowing down to a black man. You're going to bow down to his people too. You're going to kiss our feet. That's right. You're going to kiss our feet. Kiss all the toe jams and the corns and the bunions and the blisters, baby. Moving on. In the story of Jesus, Joseph was instructed by an angel to flee into the land of Ham, Egypt, to hide Jesus from the evil intentions of King Herod, who was determined to kill him after learning that a new king was born who might become a threat to his authority. Joseph was told to flee to Egypt, not only because it was a Roman province, but because it was also a black country populated by black people at that time. Joseph, Mary, and Jesus were therefore just another regular-looking black family mingling among other black families in Africa. If Jesus and his family had resembled those images that showed them as white, it would have been impossible for them to blend in among black Egyptians without sticking out from the crowd. In other words, Christ could have only been able to hide among the Africans of that period because he was of the same ethnic lineage as them. I mean, yeah, look at right there on the right. Look at this white boy. This little albino boy. This albino. Look at the black kids looking at him like, look, what the fuck is this? Look at this boy right here, boy. That boy looking at him like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this white boy? Can we get this nigga away from me? Can you get this nigga away from me? And look at the white boy. He's sad. He's sad in the middle. That's how Jesus would have looked like in Egypt, guys. That's how Jesus would have looked like in Egypt. That's how I know it's all bullshit. And anybody who's believing in this just want to believe in this. Let them believe. Let them be deluded. In the British Museum, there's a gold coin that was minted and engraved at the time of the Roman Empire, Justinian II. showing the image of Christ with tightly curled woolly hair and negroid features. And on the opposite side, there is an imprint of Justinian showing him with straight hair and European features on the right. How many European Christians would remain in the faith when they finally come to realize the truth about the real Jesus? Woo! I've been saying that. I've been saying that forever. I don't say forever. So since I got into the truth. I've been saying that, boy. When they find out the real Jesus, they all going to stop going to church. They're going to say, fuck it. That's going to be their great falling away of the Christian. The white boys. That's going to be the great falling away. When they find out who real Jesus is, when they find out they've been lied to, they ain't going to church. Why? Because then they ain't going to benefit. Because they ain't going to bow down. They don't want to bow down to the black man. They say, we ain't going to fuck this shit. They're going to go right back to the sin. Even though most of those white boys, them white girls, them Christians right now, it's all fake. It's all a facade anyway. For the community, say, hey, I'm a Christian, but they all still go do hedonistic things at the end of church. They go drinking, fornicating, cheating on their wives, adultery, watching porn, all that. They do all of it. That's how I know these are lukewarm. And when they find out Jesus black, they're going to be they're finna go to the right side. No more lukewarm. They're going straight cold. The time has come for those who continue to promote these distorted images of Christ as a Caucasian in movies, such as The Passion of the Christ, fuck that movie, to be condemned and exposed as frauds. The Euro-Christian world is fully aware of the truth concerning the true Jesus, but they continue to advertise this false image of a white Jesus. However, the once carefully hidden information concerning the earliest images of the Black Christ from the tribe of Judah are gradually beginning to resurface. Hebrews 7:14, for it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah. This image, which is located in the British Museum in London, displays these Afro-styled black men who are recognized as the ancient Israelite Hebrews. It's here on the left, right there. This particular image comes from the Assyrians who destroyed Israel about 3,000 years ago, confirming that the Hebrew people who wrote the Bible, which is the black man's history book, were black. Yes, sir. It's in a British museum. It's out in the open. And our people still refuse to see it. Prior to the 1400s, when the Israelite Moors ruled throughout Europe and religion was being introduced into Europe from Africa, the entire world knew that Christ and his mother were black. Christ was accepted and worshipped as the Black Messiah, but somewhere between 31 BC and AD 14, that admiration began to dwindle sharply because of the influence of the Roman Empire. That fourth beast, when Augustus Caesar was the royal leader. It was not until around 1492, after the Romans had defeated the Moors, that the image of the Messiah was converted from black to white. Black people were now regarded as second-class citizens and were banned from educating themselves, later having to learn their history from the oppressors through these false images that were now so whitewashed that the Israelites did not even recognize it was theirs originally. That's the school system for you. How you going to teach me about black history, white boy? How you going to teach me about black history, white boy? And Israelite parents continue to send their Israelite kids to these white institutions to be brainwashed into idolizing white people and putting white people on a pedestal. But that time is coming to an end, white boy. You pale, mayonnaise-eating Neanderthals, your time is slowly drawing to a close. The Most High is seeing to that. Look at your kingdom around you. Look at the destruction. Look at the it's evident. It's all around. All you got to do is read the news. It's around. Destabilized all over the world. Protesting, heathen on heathen, all over. The kingdom is coming through. It's through. Moving on. However, many black paintings and images of Christ, the apostles, and other biblical characters from early Christian worship still exist today. The most sacred and holiest icons of the Catholic Church and other prominent cathedrals in Europe continue to display the Black Madonna and child right here. Here are the few images showing the Black Madonna and child as they were originally worshipped in France. Black. Black, 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 but black, black, black. This painting on the left, right here, is the most revered painting at the Chilander Monastery and the most significant icon for the Serbian people that represents Christ and his mother Mary. According to legend, it belongs to the icons said to be painted by St. Luke the Apostle, who was not only a writer, but an artist as well, and was considered to be the first Christian painter. On the right is another ancient painting of Christ, done centuries ago, also showing him to be a black man with a straight nose as described in the Roman records by those who actually saw him. See, when you go deeper, when you go back further, this whole white thing, it falls on its face. It falls on its face. All you got to do is a little bit of research, people. It ain't hard. It ain't hard. All you got to do is have a thirst for true knowledge. Pray to Yah that you get some knowledge and he will lead you to it like he has led it to me. I can't thank him enough. Pope Alexander in the Roman Catholic Church. Next chapter here. The European Christians were fighting the Holy Crusades against the black rulers for control of Jerusalem and other Christian holy sites because they believed that the infidels were beginning to threaten the stronghold which the Roman Empire and the Catholic Church held over the world. However, a major hindrance that faced Pope Alexander VI and the church was that Christ, on whom their entire false religion was based, was of the same ethnic lineage as the enemy against whom they were fighting. So the church was having a difficult time trying to push its system of beliefs in one religion or in the religion. Therefore, the plan to reinvent a white Jesus was devised as a two-pronged approach to help the Christians hold on to power while at the same time keeping their enemies in subjection. Although the first Christians were people of color, by the time Pope Alexander VI ascended to the papacy, the Europeans had already grabbed control of the church. So the Pope opted to use the proven strategy of discrediting the opponent to weaken his status by embarking on a plan to have every painting depicting a black Christ destroyed. He then employed Leonardo da Vinci to recreate Christ as a white Messiah, using his son Cesare Borgia as the model for the new paintings. This strategy would have completely disconnected the white people of the empire from their Negroid enemies, thus making it easier to justifiably slaughter them without feeling any type of remorse. However, not all of the original images were defaced, though a number of the surviving paintings were whitewashed. Icons are sacred images that portray Christ, the Virgin Mary, and historical scenes, like the crucifixion of Christ. Prior to the Renaissance period, all biblical icons throughout the world portrayed Christ and the patriarchs as black, and they were accepted as such. This crucifix on the right, circa 965 and 970 AD, is the oldest, largest monument of the crucified Christ in Central Europe, which has always been displayed in the Cologne Cathedral in Germany. See, they put this shit up. They display this shit, but yet they give us bullshit. They give us garbage. Whew. Ain't that a bitch? Iconoclasm, or image breaking, is a deliberate act of destroying religious icons, symbols, and monuments, primarily for religious or political purposes. It is a part of the political or religious reforms which believes that there should not be any sacred images, religious paintings, or monuments, as it could be interpreted as idol worship. In ancient Egypt, for example, the majority of the carved faces of the black pharaohs were either defaced or destroyed by their successors. I kind of agree with that. Yeah, I did tell you let's not to do the whole idol thing, not to create any images of in heaven and stuff like that. That's why he put it in the book. He described himself in the book. The icon on the left portrays the well-known crucified Black Christ of Mexico at the Metropolitan Cathedral of Mexico City. They put all this stuff up there. Black culture was wiped out when the Caucasians rose to power and began spreading their Greek culture over the nations they conquered. This destruction occurred during the Hellenistic period in the 4th century BC, following the wars of Alexander the Greek, who had sent out decrees to all nations that everyone must discontinue the traditions and customs of their fathers and become one people through integration and assimilation. Now they're trying to do that now with the New World Order. They're trying to bring all the religions together. They call it coexist. They're doing the exact same thing right now, except on a grander scale, since now there's more people on earth than there was back then. In other words, all people were to reject their own culture and embrace the culture of their oppressors. On the right is an image of Christ on a throne painted in the 18th century Greece. Again, black. On the left is a portrayal of Christ from around 400 AD. This image is located in the Roman catacombs. Look at that picture right there. Black. On the right, Christ is depicted as the Good Shepherd, who was portrayed as a simple herder. This image can also be found in the Christian catacombs in Rome. See, they got all this history. They have all this history, all this true history, and they hide it away. They hoard it away, and they give us absolute nonsense that isn't even believable if you actually use your damn brain. This is a 17th century Greek image of the young Christ right here, right under that picture of the young Christ. The Hellenization of a major black race was that of the Israelite Jews between 334 BC and 70 AD, when the Caucasians removed all black images from the history books and repainted all biblical characters to look white. The Greeks passed many laws against the Israelite Jews, a major one being that it was unlawful for them to call themselves Jews, forcing them to be labeled as Greeks. This important detail often causes some misunderstanding when religious people are reading the New Testament and Greeks are mentioned, now realizing that it is referring to the black Israelites who were Hellenized and not to the Caucasians. A lot of people, this is the big one right here. That one right there. A lot of people argue about that. Were the Greeks that were in that New Testament, were they the white people? Were they the black people who were Hellenized? That is a big debate, but all truth will come to light in the end. Believe what you want to believe. I am not here to knock knocks or anything like that. I'm just reading the article. Later on, another iconoclastic period, commonly known as the Renaissance, got started. This was a deliberate attempt to whitewash all the black rulers who had been governing Europe for 1,000 years out of history in order to establish white supremacy. Many icons were destroyed, while several of the surviving ones were bleached. Here is a portrayal of Christ from the Dark Ages, so-called because black people were governing at the time. Many of these earlier paintings of Christ were destroyed or repainted to look white in order to hide the true identity of the Israelites. It was a known but hidden fact that black people once ruled throughout all Europe. Here are some depictions of ancient artifacts which are still found in Russia, which are left by our forefathers, showing white people on the day of judgment, where even the angels are black. Found in Russia, right there. Books are open, reading it. White boy right there. Judgment day for white people. Black angels. Right there. And look at that. A depiction of Judgment Day for white people. Look at that. The white people all got their hands behind their backs. It looks like they bound or arrested or something. Damn, look at that shit, boy. Woo! No wonder why they say, we got to change this shit, man. We got to change this. Can't have our people looking like that, man. Well, woo. Even show you right there. Attempts were made during the Renaissance period to destroy all these ancient artifacts that portrayed the Most High Christ, the angels and the apostles and prophets as black. This shows that color matters. Otherwise, the European would not have gone to such extreme lengths to repaint all the images of the Israelite people to make them look like white people. This process of brainwashing through whitewashing became the standard and spread its way from Europe to the Americas. These wall paintings of the Good Shepherd are located on the ceiling of the vault of Lucina in the catacombs of Calixtus in Rome, displaying the oldest depiction of Christ known to man. That's right here on the left. And on the right, looks like on the right. This is another image of Jesus as the Good Shepherd, which was an accepted drawing based on several biblical passages, including Psalms 23 and various sayings of Jesus during early Christian centuries. Look at all these pictures, all black people. It says here, this picture here is Jesus healing the paralytic man, and this one is Jesus healing another paralytic man. These paintings represent the earliest visual depictions of Jesus healing the paralytic man, Mark 2, 1 through 12, which were found on the walls at the church at Dura Europos, Syria, dating back to around 235 AD. Again, Jesus is portrayed as short and dark-skinned with a small curly afro. These were part of the Dura Europa's collection at the Yale University Gallery of Fine Arts. The image on the left here is a painting depicting a meeting with Christ at a temple. On the right is a painting wooden panel with Christ and his disciples, which is located in the Coptic Museum in Cairo. These were some of the earliest images known to man that portrayed Christ in his original black glory, long before any Caucasian had conceived the idea to destroy and replace them with altered images to represent and promote their own likeness and culture. All black, all black, all black everything. We got these two images depict God and the Son as black, right there. And the angel's black too. John 14 and 9 says, he that had sent me seen the Father, and how sayest thou then, shew us the Father? So if Jesus is black, hello, Father must be black. On the left here is an ancient depiction of baby Jesus being visited by the three wise men. The image on the right shows Moses, Christ, and Elijah at the transfiguration. Look at that, man. All black. Number black. This image from the 11th century shows a black Messiah healing the sick. Note carefully that the inscriptions are written in Hebrew. To the left is an image from the 16th century, which portrays the creation of man. On the right is an image from the 14th century, which shows Adam and Eve as black. On the left is an image from the 18th century depicting Michael the Archangel. To the right, Michael the Archangel is portrayed with the saints, all black. All black everything. All black everything. Yes, sir. From left to right are Moses. Then you got King David, Jeremiah, Hosea, then Peter, Paul, and Gabriel the Archangel. So the question is, if all the ancient images of Christ, the saints, and the biblical patriarchs were originally black, then how did they all end up being white? Well, we're going to find that out. Whitewashing the original black images. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Note the progressive whitewashing or bleaching of an early image from black to white. That's what it looks like now, from left to right. This is an early wall painting of the black Christ and his disciples as they gathered for the Eucharist. It is located in the catacombs of St. Domitia in Rome and dates back to the 2nd to 4th century. All black. This is the same image of Christ and his apostles from a later period, but this time it clearly shows the bleaching of the Israelites from black to white. Yep. Look at that shit. Look at that. Heathen. Bitch ass niggas. This is Leonardo da Vinci's 1498 version of the Last Supper, which depicts an effeminate interpretation of Christ as a white man. It's a damn shame. First Maccabees 3:48, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. Original black image, new fake white painting of Christ. Original black painting of Christ, whitewashing the painting of Christ, new fake painting of Christ, left to right. Oh, it's simple. Original painting, whitewash painting. Christ on the throne. Original painting, whitewash painting. And they always make them look fucking gay too. The Ascension of our Lord. Original painting, black painting. A whitewash painting. It's a damn shame, bruh. The Transfiguration of Christ. Original painting, whitewash painting here. Same for this one here. Original and whitewashed. Sad. Sad and sad. Remember that during the Renaissance period, many Jesuit priests were employed to journey all over Europe to paint Caucasian images to replace the black images that were around for centuries. Pope Alexander VI of Rome had also hired Leonardo da Vinci to paint all the sacred images that portrayed Christ, his mother, the saints, and other historical scenes in the Bible as Caucasians. Original painting right there, black. Whitewash painting, white. Wow. Original painting, boy, whitewash painting. Jesus, my goodness, look at this shit, man. Look how simple. Given into the hand of the wicked, covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Original painting of Michael the Archangel, whitewash painting, Michael the Archangel. Oh, sad. Matthew 10:26. Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. The once hidden truth is now being revealed. Hosea 3:4 reads, for the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without teraphim. Colossians 1:15 states that Jesus is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. John 1:14 says, the word was made flesh and dwelt among us. John 14:9, Jesus states, he that had seen me had seen the Father. And in John 10:30, I and my Father are one. King James, the Black King of Britain, France, and Ireland. King James, born James Charles Stuart, was described as swarthy or Negro. The word Stuart comes from an old Nordish root, svart, which means black. King James, the Black King of Britain, France, and Ireland, authorized, that is, officially permitted, the translation of the 1611 version of the Bible into a language the ordinary man could read and understand for himself, assigning 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars. They were separated into 6 groups, 3 for the Old Testament, 2 for the New Testament, and 1 for the Apocrypha. These apocryphal books were published in the original 1611 King James Bible and were initially accepted for 274 years until they were removed around 1885 AD. This would have made it difficult for the ordinary person to unearth certain specific prophecies that were written in the book Wisdom of Solomon thousands of years earlier regarding the idea to introduce a white man's image as Jesus. These prophecies would have been discovered after reading and studying the sacred texts. So in order to hide this knowledge from the masses, the apocryphal books may have been removed. Crazy. Prophecies from the apocryphal book, Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon 14:8 reads, but that which is made with hands is cursed, as well it as he that made it. He, because he made it, and it, because being corruptible, it was called God. An image or idol made by human hands is cursed, along with the one who created it, because such an evil image was designed for the sole purpose of being worshipped as God. That is these pictures of the fake Christ. Wisdom of Solomon 14:9 reads, for the ungodly in his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto God. Verse 10, for that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. The wicked in his creations are despised by God. Therefore, punishment will be allocated to whoever is involved in such immoral practices. Verse 11 reads, therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be visitation, because in the creature of God they are become an abomination, and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. Whew. It is known that Christ and his people were black, but the Europeans knew that if they could produce images in their own likeness and place them throughout Bible pages, everyone reading them would eventually start to believe that these white images actually represent the people of the Bible. And by convincing the world that the Son of God was white, everyone would automatically associate whiteness with superiority and godliness, whereas blackness would be associated with the inferiority, evil, and negativity, which we know is the complete opposite. They are the ones who are associated with inferiority because they are few. They only make up 8% of the population. They are few. They can't reproduce themselves. They have a hard time having babies with another white, with white on white. That's why they're trying to do this whole interracial shit. They're trying to introduce melanin into the bloodline. This low self-esteem would then be used as a tool to convince black people to accept the idea that they should be grateful to the slaves of the white man. Fuck them niggas. Black people would also begin to feel excluded from the Bible because no one in it resembles them. Yep. And in time, they will consider the Bible as a white man's book. That's That's my dad. That's my dad and many other parents, I guarantee you. That's why most of our people don't even read this book. Oh, that book ain't for us. That's white. That's a white person book. That's why a lot of black Christians, they Bible dusty. Dusty. They don't even read it. Why read a book that's not about them? Why read a book when all the people in it are white? Why read it? Where's the motivation to read? But when you find out that it's black, boy, yeah, you're in that book. Boy, I was in this book, reading, learning, understanding, coming to grips with what my ancestors did and why we are here in this captivity. That's what happens when you learn the truth. But our people would rather stay in their own ignorance than learn the truth. They don't want to be known as great. They don't want to be known as royalty, the children of God, the true children of Israel. They want to be known as slaves. They are content with being slaves. They're content with it. We're going to work under a white boss and doing everything he says and taking all his negativity, all that bullshit on the chin and don't do nothing about it. They are content with that. They are content with keeping up with the Joneses, trying to buy all this expensive stuff and putting all this debt on them, which forces them to be a debt slave because you got to force, you have to work to get all that debt out. Whew. Just shake my head, man. Just shake my head. Moving on. Because of this, they would develop an internal hatred towards each other, as was prophesied, which in turn would create stumbling blocks to their spiritual development. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14, verse 12 reads, "For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, in the invention of them, the corruption of life." Verse 13, "For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever." Go and bring them idols down. "For by the vain glory of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end." Yah is going to stump down on white Jesus. All these fake icons, all these whitewashed images, done away with. Gone. Evaporated off the face of the planet. No more. The world will know our glory. They will know our excellence. They will bow down and kiss the ring of the Hamashiach. The designing and making of idols is the starting point of spiritual fornication, which leads to the destruction of life. When new students are being taught about Christ, they will be deceived into deifying these false images and idols that masquerade as God, which in turn will cause them to commit spiritual fornication, as these idols were not in existence in the beginning, but were conceived through self-righteousness. They will be destroyed. Whew, all praises. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 15 reads, "For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he hath made an image of his child, soon taken away, now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices." That's like them funerals, boy. Everybody walking around that T-shirt with the dead son on it. That's exactly what it is. Making an image, walking around with that RIP. That is an idol. That is honoring the dead. Most High don't want us doing that. You can grieve and mourn, but making them shirts and all that stuff, and nah, man, it's a no. This verse refers to Rodrigo Borgia, who had the image of his son, Cesare Borgia, painted by Leonardo da Vinci and other artists to be used as a new image of Christ. With the establishment of this image, many false doctrines, ceremonies, rituals, and holidays were developed as byproducts, which have deceived the world into believing that these practices were inspired and approved by God. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14, verse 16 reads, "Thus in process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law. Engraven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings." Whew. Boy, I can tell you why they took the Apocrypha out the book. God damn. If that ain't talking about the day. Through the passage of time, the worshiping of this false image and the acceptance of these false doctrines grew so strong that they were later made into law by the king. And from these traditional practices, many perverted customs emerged, which became globally popular. One well-known custom is Christmas, where Christ's birthday is celebrated on December 25th with merriment, eating, drinking, decorating trees, shopping, and gift exchanges. The first recorded date of Christmas being celebrated on December 25th was around 336 AD, at the time of Emperor Constantine, who was the first Roman Christian emperor. Within a few years, Pope Julius I officially declared that the birth of Christ will be celebrated on December 25th because it coincided with the pagan tradition of the winter solstice. See? They put pagan bullshit with the Hamashiach. That's what they do. Another tradition is a glorification of the false idol globally known as Santa Claus. And we all know about Santa Claus. Our parents told them about that shit. Our parents told us about him. He be naughty. He has a list. He's checking it twice. Going to find out if who's naughty or nice. What kind of satanic shit is that? That's some creepy ass perverted shit. Creepy. These idols and traditions of men were mainly responsible for the development and promotion of the white Mary and Christ, which became the springboard for many of the other false religious practices that gradually came into existence. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 17. Whom men could not honor in presence, because they dwelt far off. They took the counterfeit of his visage from far, and made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end that by this their foreignness they might flatter him that was absent, as if he were present. Whew. Not everyone was able to worship the new image of Christ in its place of origin, since many of the people lived in remote locations. So they reproduced and brought back the false image of Christ with them to their native country, so they could continue honoring the image as if they were present in its place of origin. Whew. Yep, I read that. I read that, monster. Yep. They're hearing bombs dropping down there in Ukraine right now. Yes, sir. Bombs dropping. Oh, praises. Moving on here. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 19. For he, peradventure, willing to please one in authority, forced all his skill to make the resemblance of the best fashion. This passage alludes to the competition between Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo during the Renaissance period to see who could greatly impress the king Rodrigo Borgia, Pope Alexander VI, by painting the image of his son Cesare Borgia, which was to be used as a new portrait of Christ for worldwide distribution. Leonardo da Vinci was more than willing to make the greatest impression on the king by summoning up all of his creative and artistic skills in the order to sketch the portrait to the best of his ability. Leonardo and Michelangelo then went on to paint all the patriarchs in the Bible white, thereby hiding the true physical nature of the biblical characters from the eyes of the world. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 20 reads, and so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work, took him now for a god, which a little before was but honored. Verse 21, and this was an occasion to deceive the world, for men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name. The world was so smitten by the elegance and beauty of this impressive piece of artwork that it was readily accepted and worshipped as Christ. And by not revealing the true origin, source, and identity of this image, which is Cesare Borgia, the opportunity to mislead the whole world into believing that they were worshiping the true Christ became a reality. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 4. For neither did the mischievous invention of man deceive us, nor an image spotted with diverse colors, the painter's fruitless labor. Verse 5, the sight whereof enticeth fools to lust after it, and so they desire the form of a dead image that hath no breath. Verse 6, both they that make them, they that desire them, and they that worship them are lovers of evil things, and are worthy to have such things to trust upon. Whew, boy. Wisdom of Solomon, boy. Damn, should be hitting. Those having wisdom and understanding are not deceived by the corrupt creations of these artists, but fools, on the other hand, lust after these lifeless, useless images, even falling in love with them because of their visual appeal. These perverse idols become the receptacles for those who are deceived to store their religious doctrines and belief in God into. The Old Testament speaks out against all graven images that are displayed in homes, churches, or anywhere. In that verses, Exodus chapter 20, verses 3 through 6. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the father upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto the thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Deuteronomy 7:25 reads, the graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein, for it is an abomination to the Lord thy God. Verse 26, neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house, lest thou be a cursed thing like it, but thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing. A graven image can be classified as a false god, a pagan symbol, idol, statue, icon, likeness, figure, depiction, artwork, or some type of representation of a person that is worshipped as God. Here, on the left, a Catholic woman is worshiping a statue which believes to be Christ. She's kissing the feet of this statue. Unreal. Deuteronomy 4:16 reads, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female. Isaiah 2:8. Their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. Acts 17:29. For as much then as we are the offspring of God, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art in man's device. Isaiah 42:8. I am the Lord, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. Psalm 96:5. For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Acts 6:9-11. Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abuser of themselves with mankind shall inherit the kingdom of God. Clearly, God forbids his chosen people to make, bow down to, or worship any graven image, since he will not share his glory with another. In the last chapter, Pope Benedict XVI and Pope Francis I still worship the Black Virgin. Pope Benedict XVI and Pope Francis I are seen here in Vatican Chapel praying to the Black Madonna and Child. Church leaders know very well that the Israelites are black, which obviously includes Jesus the Christ. Satan's desire from the very beginning was to usurp God and his throne, as revealed in Isaiah 14:13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation and the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin shall be revealed, the son of perdition. Verse 4. Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God. Verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? Jump down to verse 11. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion that they shall believe a lie, that they all might be damned whom believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. As a result of introducing these false images of Christ, Satan, with the help of the Catholic Church, has been receiving all the glory that rightfully belongs to God, the Creator, in his Son. It is believed that the books of the Apocrypha were deliberately removed from the Bible by those who have been aware of the specific prophecies that pointed an accusing finger at them as co-conspirators with the great dragon in the biggest worldwide deception of all times. Therefore, those prophecies and revelations had to be concealed from the general public in order to keep them in total darkness. There you have it. Powerful article. Powerful. All praises to Yah for the knowledge received. Hope you guys are edified. I was edified as well. The heathen have been doing this a long time. A long time to hide our true history. They know who we are. They all know who we are. But we are the ones who don't know who we are. Stubborn and stiff-necked to the end. That's why 2/3 are going away. We are a stubborn people, very stubborn. You can show people straight evidence. I can show my mom or my dad this entire article, and they will still come away and still believe their own stuff. They will knock at this. Oh no, no, no! I don't believe in that. No, I don't. No, 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 no. They probably wouldn't even make it through the whole article. They probably wouldn't even read the whole thing. They will probably make it a couple paragraphs in before they no, you know what? No, I can't believe this. No, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And Jesus loved everybody. He loves everybody. He's all things. And this is the plight that we in the truth have to go through every day with the people who are not in the truth, which is why I do not argue with nobody. I find out you don't believe, I don't care. Goodbye. If it's Yah's will, he'll bring you back to me with a humble and contrite spirit, and then I can teach you. Nope, you harden your heart, you stiff neck and stubborn. I will not consult with you. I will not fellowship with you. I will not sup with you. Nope. You are a heathen in my eye. Don't care if you're an Israelite. You are a heathen in my eye. I don't care. Hey, I pray that Yah wakes who he wants to wake up. And if he deems it and this is will, he will bring people to me. Just like I was sent unto the CUC. I was sent here. He will bring people in your path. You will not have to force anything, family. If somebody does not believe, dust your feet off and get the fuck on. No more is the time that I'm going to sit there and argue with people and go back and forth on Reddit or Twitter or Instagram or any other social media. Nope. The whiff that I get that you don't believe, I'm gone. Block. No tolerance for unbelief for me. If the Most High sends you back, hey, then it is what it is. But for me, nah. Nope. So that's why Israel, we got to continue to stay ourselves, continue to be set apart from these heathen around. We got all kinds of things that are going on right now. It is not our business. Stay the fuck away from these white people, or else you're going to be drawn up in their bullshit. Do not be partakers of the sins. Let them do what they do. Let Yah work. Let Yah do his business. And with that being said, I want to give another shalom to all the people in the chat and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are all Negro, who are scattered to the four corners of the earth, who may happen upon this podcast. Shalom to all y'all in the covenant who are keeping the commandments, who fear Yah, following the law. Bask in righteousness and hate all unrighteousness. May Yah keep y'all. May Yah continue to bless us. Continue to keep us safe from these heathen roundabout. May he continue to have the holy archangels watch over us. And to the strangers, that remnant from the other nations that cleave, that believe we the people, that know we the people, and that love us truly in their hearts, may Yah bless and keep y'all as well. This has been yet another edition of Behind the Veil with Bezale'el. Me, your host, your humble host. And if Yah willing, we're going to do this again next week. But until then, may y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Or if you're going to sleep, May y'all give you a good sleep. And if it is in his will, may y'all wake y'all up in the morning to do it all over again. So with that, I'ma leave you with a song by Psalm 41. It's called Hocus Pocus. It's about them chariots. I hope y'all enjoy it. Stay blessed, fam. Shalom.
Hey, real talk though.
Yeah.
Have you meditated on what's gonna happen if we endure until the end? We are literally just gonna vanish and be gone in chariots.
Hocus pocus, them boys, where they went at? Took them up in the sky, how they do that? Disappeared in my eyes, where they went at? If you sit there, you know you can't get in. Hocus pocus, them boys, where they went at? Took them up in the sky, how they do that? Disappeared in my eyes, where they went at? If you sit there, you know you can't get in.
I got it, I tell my people not to quit. We the real Jews and them mothers counterfeits. Prophecy fitters like fresh outfits. Looking up and ready for that last trumpet. See the fire red zeal in his eyes and his prophets. Chairs coming down, your army can't even stop it. Whirlwind have you spinning around feeling nauseous. Chucking up the deuces in the air like pathogens. Mad cause they watching us. Face all red cause they losing all they oxygen. Big black angels at the gate steady stopping them. The kingdom is not for them. The Lord ain't died for them. Why you even cry for them?
Hocus pocus, the wicked in a daydream. They pray till their likeness drop the smoke screen. I ate the little book, it gave me protein. I'm walking with giants, yeah, you never seen. Hocus pocus, them boys, where they went at? Took them up in the sky, how they do that? Disappeared in my eyes, where they went at? If you sit there, you know you can't get in. Hocus pocus, them boys, where they went at? Took them up in the sky, how they do that? Disappeared in my eyes, where they went at? If you sit there, you know you can't get in.
I'm laughing, they like what happened. They just vanished. A black man just cracked the sky now. You can panic, you rob me of my culture with no problem. And now you're about to die here like Dennis Rodman. I told you, thought I told you in Obadiah that you don't want no beef like empanadas. I've been here, yep, I've been here. If he got a yellow thin here, he can't come in here. You don't even got no melanin, you need some skincare. I vote Christ for president, don't bring your sin here. I'm on a different element, my people must read. You heathens just suck, my people succeed.
Hocus pocus, the wicked in a daydream. They pray till their likeness drop the smoke screen. I ate the little book, it gave me protein. I'm walking with giants, yeah, you never seen. Hocus pocus, them boys, where they went at? Took them up in the sky, how they do that? Disappeared in my eyes, where they went at? If you sit there, you know you can't get in. Hocus pocus, them boys, where they went at? Took them up in the sky, how they do that? Disappeared in my eyes, where they went at? If you sit there, you know you can't get in.